Dubious honor of introducing to you somebody who you already know. His name is Franck. And I have some good news and I have some bad news. And I'm going to give you the bad news first. This guy, who I've known for I don't know how many years now, Franck, we've been one way and another in SDMX, in RDF settings, in DDI settings, we've been working together. And you're like a rock. You're like somebody who actually has their stuff wired together really tightly, but is mellow anyway. When I met this guy, I realized that he'd named his servers things like Eno. They were all alt-rock names of all the servers in Insee, and I was like, okay, this I can deal with, right? So Franck has been an amazing resource to this community in every way, and in a way that involves a lot of forward-looking stuff. I don't think we'd be as far ahead, the world wouldn't be as far ahead with RDF as it concerns statistics if it were not for this gentleman. He's the only person in this community I know who's actually engaged proactively with W3C as an official position, the semantic statistics. But you help them organize workshops and have things like XCOS are absolutely tied into that world and widely used outside of the DDI and SDMX communities. So the bad news is that today is your last real day of work, right? That you're retiring, and that means you get 2 weeks of vacation and then you're gone. And the good news is that after, I don't know how many decades you've been at Insee,
40 years.
that Franck has started making sense. He has a consulting company by that name. And on that note, Franck, I cannot say how much, I mean, I know how much I appreciate you, but I think that's true of everybody here. So I really...
Thank you. Thanks a lot. You're exaggerating as always. Oh, I will be short for the conclusions, but I want to maybe go through one last slide. So, if you refer to the cosmogony of the ancient Greeks, at the beginning of times, it was all chaos everywhere. And then came something called the cosmos. And the cosmos gave meaning and order to the chaos. And when you work in statistics, or with data in general, sometimes you feel that you're a bit surrounded by chaos. And you mentioned chaos, actually, in your talk. Maybe it's because I'm getting too old, so I have the impression it's more and more chaos of data that you cannot compare, that you can not even cope with sometimes, chaos of processes that you cannot compare, that you cannot control, that you cannot master or understand. So chaos everywhere. And it's my belief, it's been my belief for some times now, that one of the ways that we can kind of tame this chaos or make sense out of it is to have metadata, to have good metadata, fair, smart metadata. And that's why this conference is called Cosmos. And it seems we've reached the end of the Cosmos. So it's time for concluding remarks. But you can relax, there will be no satisfaction survey, there will be no Mentimeter, no Slido, no nothing. But just a show of hands, who thought that the conference was useful for them? Okay, thank you. And so the question now is, what now? Is there another Cosmos coming on? And the answer to that is, I don't know. So as you said, Alfan, I'm retiring from Insee. So if you want another Cosmos to happen, probably not next year because it's a bit of organization, but maybe in 2 years or 3 years, if you want even to co-organize it or even to host it, well, just write to us and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so it's time to thank people, thank yous. First, thank you all for coming and to participating actively also to the event. I have to thank the sponsors, of course, CoData and CISD, the Center for Secure Data Access. Thank you to the people also at the Barge de Cruz for the very nice event yesterday. Thank you to the members of the scientific committee who wrote the papers and did some very good work on it to select the papers that were presented here. I want to thank, of course, the session chairs. So all 6 of you have done an amazing work, and thank you for that. I want to thank the day chairs also, so Arfan, and so David also, and special thanks to Flavio, who did all the preparatory work with us, but unfortunately at the last minute he could not travel, and so David accepted to take the role. So thank you to Flavio also. Thank you to Thomas in French, for the poster, who chaired the posters and demos. Thank you to the INALCO team here, Céline, Cynthia, who have helped us a lot to organize the conference. Also to the technical guys at INALCO, so Benoit and his team in the little box there. Thank you to Guillaume for the graphic design of the conference. And thank you to the local organization team, so Milen here, and all the people who have a star here on the badge. So thank you all. And that's all, I think. I have a last Cosmos pun. Have a safe trip back home, and see you maybe in another Cosmos. Thank you.